And quickly to end, all the evidence show that well before COVID, well before Ukraine, Ghana was already in some of the critical areas like debt service and the like, doing badly compared to other countries. Now, is the argument that these countries were not hit by COVID and Ukraine? Look at our bond spreads before COVID and after COVID. Why is it that our debt is more costly than other countries, even though we all suffer the same COVID and Ukraine? So the evidence doesn't show anything to suggest that, the primary challenge that we face is Ukraine and COVID. Of course, it's contributory factors. But I'm saying that independent of that, measuring us or benchmarking us against other countries tell you that because all those countries are also suffering from COVID and Ukraine, if we are worse than them, then there's something more than COVID and Ukraine at heart. I will end there if there are questions. I mean, I had some limited issues around, what is that we are likely to gain from the IMF. Maybe I'll just go through that in 1 minute.
Yes.
The key issue is that...
Yes, if you can do 1 minute with that.
1 minute, yes. The key issue with that is that right now, when we go and we borrow from the private markets, which have become so fond of, we are spending a lot of money on fees and charges to all manner of consultants and professionals, some of whom are in this country, some of whose organizations are actually affiliated with the government. And with IMF, we are not going to spend that money, and so those consultants are not going to get that money. But it also means, therefore, that the cost of borrowing to Ghana will be low. Some of the IMF facilities attract zero interest rate. The ones that attract interest rates, maybe not more than 2%. So if you look at all the costs that we're incurring on the private market, any money we get from the IMF, and it's not going to be as large as what we're getting on the international private capital markets, of course, but that money will be cheaper. So that's a useful thing. The other thing is, it doesn't mean that when you're on the IMF program, you can't go back to the international market and borrow. Just that you have to borrow at a reasonable rate. Our last highest economic growth was observed when we were under an IMF program. So the IMF program can be mixed with the capital markets, but you have to do it in a way that does not overburden your ability to pay. And that is very critical. The last point is also that the government will have to tell the truth a lot more about the economic situation and be more factual. In the last program that we did with the IMF, we lied about how much of our external arrears were due. We had, some arrears due to Exim Bank in India and other places, and we were hiding them or we were negligent about them. And the IMF found out, and we had to write an apology letter to tell them that, it was a mistake due to administrative error and things like that. So the extra vigilance means that the data that we're going to be used for analysis about where our economy really is, that data is going to be better and superior because of the fact that there's extra vigilance. And I think those are some of the advantages that we are likely to gain.